Hey everybody, this is Solo, and today we're going to be talking about a brand new theory I express as the New Dawn theory, which, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, is I took the basic premise from the Two Truths, Two Lies, where if we were to go to a different system after the events of the Light and Dark War, what I predict or fantasize will happen. So firstly, sorry, um, this video is going to be a bit different because unlike my other videos, I actually sat down and recorded a lot of notes for this one, and I'm going to be doing different audio recordings for each section, and we're actually going to go over the sections in this introduction. It took me quite a few hours to just go through and type all this. But basically, how it's going to go is we're going to have, I believe it's four different categories, and some are smaller than others. But we'll have the story, we'll have PvE, and PvE is actually the biggest because I'm a PvE player. Gambit is the smallest, and then PvP is the second smallest. And we're just going to go through and basically do a wild theory of what Destiny 2 may look like after the final shape and after everything that goes on with every event with the Light and Darkness saga. So the length of this video, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but it's going to be one of my longer ones. So sit back and enjoy the show, and let's get started. Alright, so the first section of this is actually going to be on the story. Now, the story, as you guys know, with the Light and Darkness saga, is going to wrap up with the final shape, which means we're going to be starting on a new saga. Now, with this theory, I'm calling it New Dawn because with the final shape, we will be going into a new dawn of Destiny with this new saga in place, and whatever happens in the final shape is going to shape how this next saga is going to start. And so, going over this, here are my theories of what may happen and what currently the Guardians are going to be doing when this new DLC comes out after the final shape. So I'm just going to read some of the points that I have and go on from there. And by the way, before we start a lot of this, none of this is confirmed. All this is just my really hyper fantasized theory, and none of it could come true whatsoever. So, just letting you guys know. Anyway, so the story as it is right now is we're gearing up to fight the Witness. But when talking about this, we need to talk about what will happen after the fight with the Witness, whether we win or lose. Or the theory is pointing to us winning, but at the cost of the light and the darkness being weird. But anyway, so where we start out in the new DLC is going to be the last city was taken out along with the Witness and the Traveler in the final shape, of course. As a result, we flood the system with the help of the Cabal and the Elixni and set up a new tower on a remote planet in another system, which this could be like, the Tower 3.0. It'll have a lot more vendors, but we'll get into that in PvE. And the basis of this new story would be us arriving in this new system and having to survive in a new environment with new alien species, and some may be good and others more sinister. But with the new environment and new powers, with even new, with new environment and new powers and even more new guns, we're going to need those to combat the new species, because I feel like we're gonna see a new alien type going forward with Destiny, especially after the final shape. I don't think it'll just be the 4 or the 3 and then the Taken. But anyway, Guardian, and then so, while fleeing from our previous system, we are warned about rogue guardians that left way before the events of Final Shape, and when you run into each of these guardians, there is a hefty bounty on their head for their defeat. So basically, I believe this chunk is actually like we're gonna find out about the Rogue Guardians in Lightfall. And this is going to be people who basically defected because they knew or they thought that we weren't going to win, so they defected away. So then they wouldn't have to face the consequences of using the darkness and also using the light and things around those like issues. And these guardians are probably going to go back to like how the warlords were. They'll go into this new system thinking they're a god, and we're going to come in and basically snuff them out at this point. We're going to be like the Iron Lords. So yeah. But the next point is guardians are coming to terms with the fact that to have peace you need both light and darkness, and that protecting those closest to you should always be something that we strive for. And with this, like, I feel like definitely the new story is going to be something about us trying to find a foundation somewhere else that isn't just our solar system. And I feel like we're going to get pushed to go somewhere else, but I also feel like Bungie's going to make it apparent that you can go back and play the Light and Darkness saga. Like, so then people can be caught up. And I feel like the new light experience is going to be different. But yeah, that's basically pretty much it for the story portion of this. So let's move on over to the next part of this. Alright, so the next part of the video is actually going to be based around PvE. This is also going to be the longest part of the video, because going through PvE, I have, let's see, so I did notes by number system, and there is 11 notes for this part of the script. And so we're just going to go through them. So every subclass got an update to the new 4.0 model, allowing subclasses to be mixed into new supers, at least with Arc, Solar, and Void. And then it says, no, again, this is fantasy. We have no actual lead for this, and it would be a nightmare to balance, because we've already seen that with the 3.0 updates. But I feel like there's going to be, because I think there is a part in the canon where somebody mixes two their like supers together, but I feel like there may be a point where you could do that, but again, it is a coding nightmare, so it may not happen. Then point number 2 is the final 3 darkness subclasses are something along the like of Stasis, which we already know is confirmed from Beyond Light, Poison, or Corruption, whichever way you want to call it, in Lightfall, and then Gravity from Final Shape. Now, Poison is going to be discovered after Callus shows up with the second collapse, forcing us to turn to the darkness once more, and Gravity being given to us after besting the witness, and the darkness grants us the abilities of the Disciple as the Gravity subclass. Now that is just predictions for the last two, of course, not really set in stone. This is one I hope they do, which is the replacement for Vanguard missions are called Stronghold Offensive, which will consist of strikes and battlegrounds, and the new Stronghold Offense missions where we are battling to get resources to build outposts that over time will be bigger and upgraded over time, adding more locations over DLC and seasons, and these will also have Stronghold Defense missions as well available in different difficulty levels. And this premise that I had reminds me a lot of the heroic strikes that we had for a while, before we came over to Destiny 2. But I feel like we're gonna get a more fleshed out system for that at some point. And the Nightfalls have been updated to Stronghold Onslaughts, where Guardians have to protect new strongholds and breach enemy ones, where Guardians are tasked with getting into the enemy strongholds and clearing them out of the area, which is, of course, going to be available in different difficulties. Now, this is the part, I've heard rumors about this part, and I figured I'd slide this in somewhere, but power levels have been removed since the end of the Dark versus Light saga, as measuring power doesn't really matter now as Guardians to have as Guardians have to balance both and also look for, instead of going up by one number with power, weapons and armor will now have perks that specialize in playstyles, and the higher content you do, the more perks awarded based on difficulty, and will drop engrams that can be more precise based on upgrades that can decrypt at the hub or other places in the new system. And we'll get to that, which is actually the next one. So clans, which are very basic right now, have been completely reworked as the final shape saw Guardians and species allied together to stop the Witness. New clan capital ships where players can customize and show off triumphs and trophies to their clan and also organize for activities. Also, the clan reward system has been reorganized as well to give rewards that let you customize the ship interior, and also later on let you expand it to hold things like vaults and vendors, and that's where you're going to get another like decryptor from in the series. Number 7. A lot of new weapon types have been introduced. Melee weapons introduced are scythes, daggers, and bow staffs, some harder than others, aka bow staff needing more melee focused builds. More variety with new kinetics, special, and heavy weapons being added to complement different playstyle, as well as exotics and reworks for older exotics to bring them up to the meta. As far as playable races, there are a few new ones after the final fight with the Witness. Those who were defeated from our allies came back as light bearers, so you can now play as a Cabal or an Elixir. Now, again, this is also a thing that people talked about, but we've never heard anything else about it, so this is literally the post of massive grain of salt. Artifacts have been upgraded with more mods for different playstyles. And this is talking about the playstyles thing. I know people are gonna be like, well, technically Omni and Recovery are playstyles. And what I mean by playstyles is like actual ways that you are comfortable playing, not cheese metas. You know? So, like, when I say things are updated to the meta, it means they're updated so then someone who would have that type of playstyle would be able to pick it up and feel comfortable playing that playstyle really well because it's suited for them. Anyway. So, seasonal model has been reworked with more than one activity for progression and has incorporated more unique item, including new super animations and animated shaders, and they have brought back theme loot for stronghold offensive, which would be like, you know, like in the God, I can't remember the one he's the light seeker or whatever. He's the guy who guards Oryx. I can't remember his name, but Alakul, the Dark Blade. That's who it is. Alakul. You could get like his head from that strike, and I feel like they'll bring it back eventually. Anyway, we're basically at the end. Number 11. There are new factions to be a part of, and a new reputation in the new system. Basically, it's gonna be kind of like a replacement for Dead Orbit, New Monarchy, and Future War Cult. And it's going to give you reputation and probably cosmetics based on them. Okay, and that's going to do it for the PvE side. A little bit longer of a section, but not too much longer. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so the next topic we have is Gambit. Now, Gambit is going to be a shorter one because I only have one bullet point for it. And that is Gambit gets redesigned from the ground up to reward players for playing their role, as well as fixing damage for bosses so no primeval isn't just melted. Also added new hostile species to the mix of what you can get when you start the game. Also, Gambit gets renamed to Dredgen's Gambit, along with a new activity called the Rat's Treasure, where you're gonna go in and fight more of the like monsters or aliens, whichever ones it is, and get more loot from it. And that's all I have for Gambit, really, is just a rework from the ground up, because at this point it needs it. So let's move on to the final point, and probably the one people are going to be most mad about. Alright, so for our final bullet point before the end of the video, we're going to talk about PvP. Now, PvP I don't play a lot of. There's a reason behind that. I don't like pub stomping, I don't like people's egos, and I don't like the meta. It's just a thing of I just don't like it because, like, it just feeds people's egos to be rude to other people. Anyway, so what I see happening for PvP is PvP gets reworked to fit around playstyles rather than OP weapons and armor, giving people a fun experience after refining skill-based matchmaking, so then people aren't pub stomped, and also people are still having fun while also prioritizing connections as well, so then people aren't just lagging out of the game. Number 2 is Trials is reworked to help solo players get flawless and make it so then going flawless more than once a season is harder each time with the skill level, so it doesn't seem too easy. If you guys want Trials to be the end game, I don't get why people get mad when it gets harder to become flawless. Sorry. If you want that to be the end game PvP, that's the way it's gonna go. And 3, the ammo economy has changed a lot, with heavy and special ammo getting more restrictions and less priority, and more priority on actually winning gunfights with primary weapons. And that's gonna do it for PvP. Like I said, I don't play a lot of it, and yeah, I already know some people are gonna be upset when I said skill-based matchmaking and no pub stomping, but whatever. Anyway, let's go into the outro, because that's basically all encompassing for all the points I want to hit in this theory video. Alright everyone, so that was my throw into the dark of what could be happening with the saga going on after Light versus Darkness. Now, this is a lot of far-fetched things. There's a lot of stuff that I just kind of wrote down in terms of what would be cool, what would be some cool things to see. Some things I was kind of thinking about adding was a new rarity type that's like super rare to get, or it has to be crafted, which would be Paracosial rarity, which would be a rarity above exotic, but I didn't put it on there because I didn't know where exactly I'd put it, because it'd be a part of all of them. And also there's a lot of quality of life changes that I would also put in the game if I had the decision to. And of course, this is just me having fun while we're in a lull between like seasons, and also while Solstice is still going on. But yeah, anyway guys, if you guys did like the video, hit the like button, comment down below what was your favorite part about this theory, or if you could add to this theory, let me know what you would add to this theory down below. And guys, don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video, and I will see you guys in the next Destiny video. Bye bye.